States Navy,
the United States Air Force,
of the U.S. Army.
And I am a veteran of the American War in Vietnam.
And I've been a member of Veterans for Peace
for 2.5 years.
15 years.
Close to 30 years now.
For about a month now.
For over 1 year.
An active member for 20 years.
We as military veterans do hereby affirm our greater responsibility
to serve the cause of world peace. To this end, we will work with others both nationally and internationally.
To increase public awareness of the causes and costs of war.
To restrain our government
from intervening overtly and covertly in the internal affairs
of other nations.
To end the arms race.
To reduce and eventually eliminate nuclear weapons.
To seek justice for veterans and victims of war.
To abolish war as an instrument of national policy.
To achieve these goals, members of Veterans for Peace pledge to use nonviolent means
and to maintain an organization that is both democratic and open,
with the understanding that all members are trusted to act in the best interests of the group
for the larger purpose of world peace.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Let's go scrolling. Here we go. Ready, get set, action.
We will use our anger at injustice as a positive, non-violent force for change.
We will approach every encounter with fellow members and the public with positivity and mindfulness.
And with the assumption that concerns raised are coming from a positive place.
And present a learning opportunity.
Our attitude,
as conveyed through our words,
symbols, and actions,
will be one of openness, friendliness,
and respect towards all people we encounter.
All members have an important role to play in Veterans for Peace.
Regardless of previous military rank, branch, or combat experience,
we will respect one another as equal parts of a whole.
We will not assault verbally, in person, or online anyone,
to include fellow members and those who oppose or disagree with us,
even if they assault us.
This does not preclude a member's right
to defend themselves
against a physical attack.
In keeping with our commitment to achieving our goals through nonviolent means,
there is an expectation that members will not carry weapons with them
to Veterans for Peace events
or while representing Veterans for Peace,
regardless of the laws and their location.
We will follow the directions of designated coordinators
during public actions
organized on behalf of Veterans for Peace.
We'll use democratic principles within our organization to ensure an open, fair, inclusive, and transparent environment.
We will speak as members of Veterans for Peace,
but not for Veterans for Peace,
unless designated as a spokesperson for Veterans for Peace.
All members are free to speak for themselves or on behalf of their chapter as appropriate.
Sexist,
racist,
homophobic,
ageist,
transphobic,
gender discriminatory,
and all other discriminatory language and actions
are common within the military.
They are not acceptable within Veterans for Peace.
Our words and actions will maintain
the political and financial independence of Veterans for Peace.
To achieve the above goals, we will also engage in active listening.
That is, fully concentrating on what is being said,
rather than passively hearing the message of the speaker. All right, action.
I am a veteran of the Army National Guard.
of the United States Navy,
the United States Air Force,
of the U.S. Army,
And I am a veteran of the American War in Vietnam.
And I've been a member of Veterans for Peace
for 2.5 years.
15 years.
Close to 30 years now.
for about a month now.
for over 1 year.
An active member for 20 years.
We as military veterans do hereby affirm our greater responsibility
To serve the cause of world peace. To this end, we will work with others both nationally and internationally
To increase public awareness of the causes and costs of war,
to restrain our government
From intervening overtly and covertly in the internal affairs
of other nations,
to end the arms race,
to reduce and eventually eliminate nuclear weapons,
to seek justice for veterans and victims of war,
to abolish war as an instrument of national policy.
To achieve these goals, members of Veterans for Peace pledge to use nonviolent means
and to maintain an organization that is both democratic and open.
with the understanding that all members are trusted to act in the best interests of the group
For the larger purpose of world peace.
red leather, yellow leather.
Let's go scrolling. Here we go. Ready, get set, action.
We will use our anger and injustice as a positive, nonviolent force for change.
We will approach every encounter with fellow members and the public with positivity and mindfulness.
And with the assumption that concerns raised are coming from a positive place,
and present a learning opportunity.
Our attitude
As conveyed through our words,
symbols, and actions,
Will be one of openness, friendliness,
and respect towards all people we encounter.
all members have an important role to play in Veterans for Peace.
regardless of previous military rank, branch, or combat experience,
We will respect one another as equal parts of a whole.
We will not assault verbally, in person, or online anyone,
To include fellow members and those who oppose or disagree with us.
Even if they assault us.
This does not preclude a member's right
To defend themselves
against a physical attack.
In keeping with our commitment to achieving our goals through nonviolent means,
There is an expectation that members will not carry weapons with them.
to Veterans for Peace events,
Or while representing Veterans for Peace.
regardless of the laws and their location.
We will follow the directions of designated coordinators.
During public actions,
organized on behalf of Veterans for Peace.
We'll use democratic principles within our organization to ensure an open, fair, inclusive, and transparent environment.
We will speak as members of Veterans for Peace,
But not for Veterans for Peace.
unless designated as a spokesperson for Veterans for Peace.
all members are free to speak for themselves or on behalf of their chapter as appropriate.
Sexist,
Racist,
Homophobic,
ageist,
transphobic,
Gender discriminatory
and all other discriminatory language and actions
are common within the military.
They are not acceptable within Veterans for Peace.
our words and actions will maintain
The political and financial independence of Veterans for Peace.
This is Sincerely V. I'm a Rocket League team member, a Gamer for Peace community member, Veteran for Peace member, and the digital organizer for Veterans for Peace uh, staff there. I'm a United States Marine Corps vet, having served 2004 2010, deployments to I play video games. Yep, that's what I do. I play video games, and that's all I do. And I want to toss it over to the pretty cool unicorn. Yeah, just 1 second. I'm just double checking audio. Hey, Pacifist War Vet, can you hear us? Okay. No, that's weird. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Difficult.
Want me to try that? Oh, she can't hear you either, Unicorn.
Oh.
Can
No, it would be. Yep. Okay, I fixed it. I figured out what it was. I did it on the fly. We're good. That's Miss Warbeck. Can you still hear them?
This
Uh-oh.
is a check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Nice. I like your mic check. Whenever Sin asks me to do that, it's just I'm checking the mic. It's not actual noises that you're supposed to make when you are checking a mic.
It's probably Smedley. Pacifist Warbit.
Okay, hold on.
I think she's all good now.
I think we're good now.
I think
okay.
so.
That was fun.
I do not know how to fix it. If I haven't fixed it yet, I don't know what it is. And we're doing a silent stream. But I kid. I should
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly say that it's not just Finn and I here. We also have Lil Pistons and Smedley, who are not on screen, but they are talking as well. Okay.
Yep. Someday.
Smedley, did you get dropped from the game?
Yeah.
Another invite.
Silent stream. That's awesome. Okay. Am I the only one who just, this is going to sound so juvenile, but like, am I the only one who thinks about pee every time they hear the word stream?
Yeah.
We couldn't have
I do
found a
not.
better word.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're a child.
Bad.
You are officially a child,
Oh.
and I adore you for it in every way
Oh.
possible.
Have ever made that immediate association in my head. Like if it was a pun
Seriously.
or like a joke on purpose and I could see it, then yes. But every time I say the word stream, no, I don't think of P.
It's just me. Awesome.
If it makes you
I
feel
just
better, I
picture
will
like-
probably have that association from now on.
Yes. You're all cursed with my inner thoughts now. Thank you.
True. Awesome.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, I guess we should talk about Bad Batch, which appears juvenile on the surface, but is anything but. The more we like dig into this show. So episode 11 starts off on Ryloth, which is I always mispronounce this race's
Twi'lek.
Twi'lek. Okay.
I think that's how they
That's-
say
yeah.
it in this episode anyway. Twi'lek.
Okay. Yeah.
But
their home planet. And no members of the Bad Batch in sight, which is a little jarring. But a lot of character development with these characters that show up right away.
Really excited when the episode started on that planet because that's one of my favorite like races in Star Wars. I think they're so cool looking. Like I would love to have those head appendages. I don't know what they are, but I like them.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and this is like a Star Wars rant. I guess this has nothing to do with military, but I thought it was interesting that this is like considered to be an outer rim world when Twi'leks are like so prevalent all across the Star Wars galaxy. Galaxies.
They're prevalent, I believe, canonically because of slave trade, like sex work, slave trade, and other things. Like canonically, they are completely enslaved in a lot of cases, or like in the underworld realm of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely see that with Jabba the Hutt. And that, geez, knowing that, I think kind of like puts a different spin on some of the stuff that comes up in the episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, just starting out in the episode, the Empire's telling them basically to dissolve their military, and a lot of them are not okay with that. And this is I'm assuming before they're heavily taken advantage of or enslaved. And I don't know, it seems like maybe some of that would come from them not having a military anymore and being at the whim of the Empire.
Where does help me again, because I am the resident Star Wars dummy here. I wanted to place this in the timeline of so this is like the beginning, right?
We are before Anakin Skywalker is even close to being born.
Okay, right. Okay.
No, this is after.
Before he's Darth Vader.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. This is between when Anakin is Jedi and becoming he's about to become Darth Vader.
Yeah,
so
we're
in the prequel movies.
Okay.
Sorry, Smelly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I was going to say, since the series takes place after Order 66, he has turned to being Vader, and Luke and Leia are like little itty bitty babies.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I kind of get lost in because of the way they like jump back and forth in timeline with all of the sorry, I bumped you. Like all of these like sideshow, like the little series and then the movies and spin-offs, and I just like get lost in the timeline sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it can be
if you ever
hard
look at
to
like
keep track.
I look at some of the inside of the book covers, if you've ever looked at some of them, oh my gosh, forget it.
Are there timelines on the inside?
There'll be like timelines, or there'll be like a list of books. I think now they're timelines, but yeah, it's past this word that's pretty complex. I mean, they came out in the 70s, right? So that's time to do math.
50
what, like
years
45 years?
Yeah. Wow. I am not paying attention very well in the game. I was distracted by the timelines. Okay. I'm back on track now.
Sounds good. I have lost my train of thought, so that's okay.
Yeah, no, I interrupted because we were trying to figure out where, in the timeline, the situation with like this slave trade of the Twi'leks may have occurred.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning
So,
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're open up, and they're general, and what are the other two? The mom to the one character, are they like a prime minister or
I
king,
think
or
one's
what is
the like general of the army or something.
Yeah, so the character,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, the Cham Syndulla, he was basically like, you know, I kept getting this association with these two episodes. I kept thinking of like Nazi Germany and the French Resistance because some of them had like French accents. But anyway, so because of that, then I think of like that character Cham Syndulla. I almost think of him as like Charles de Gaulle, even though Charles de Gaulle wasn't in France at the time. But yeah, he was like the iconic hero general of Ryloth.
Yeah, they call him
then,
a freedom fighter later on, I believe. Yeah.
And then I forget the other male Twi'lek was like one of his lieutenants, and then I'm not sure whether his wife had a part in fighting or not. But the senator for the planet is someone else. He's the one Arn Free Ta or something like that. The larger Rylek,
he has four
or Twi'lek.
like
Yeah.
four Johns on, I don't know what they're called, on the head, appendages, and several chins.
Yeah, I've
And he's blue.
heard them referred to as Leku.
Okay.
it annoys the crap out of me that it's such a trope that they use overweight characters to represent greed. Like, I cannot freaking stand that trope. It pissed me off that they did that.
Yeah.
I was like, that is just lazy.
Yeah, it is, right? I feel like that we've talked about that kind of stuff with like other like female characters and minority characters and stuff. It's like, okay, this is just like lazy writing at this point, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna try to remember where we were, what we were doing. I think we're doing a good job talking about the Twi'lek, though. Nice shot.
So the Empire is saying like, hey, you don't need a military anymore. We're your military now, and the general is very conflicted about that, and his soldiers, I guess, also very conflicted about that. and there's a lot of like distrust between the Empire. And I thought
sorry,
in
Sin.
You're okay.
in your notes, Unicorn, it was like interesting that you picked up on like this additional military propaganda from Empire, like, oh, we should
Yeah.
respect them and protect us and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was in the beginning of that episode. I wrote that note because of like Cham's like confliction. Like it's like apparently he was, was like, oh, like, well, we've been fighting for peace for so long, and what's the point of fighting for peace if then we can't accept it when it's here? And like trying to like reason that it's a good thing, and then I think it was the senator Ta who just said some blatant things that were like, if the alternative is everybody dying, right? So like,
Yeah.
like, of course, like, because there's so much power there by the Empire that there is like no point in even trying to fight, and Cham is like the only thing kind of standing in the way of that because he's not fully accepting of the Empire's presence. It was just so blatant to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see he's really conflicted. Like he wants it to be a good thing, but he has this like strong oh man, I totally whiffed. He has this strong instinctual feeling that it's not, you know.
Well, and even the behind the scenes talk, like with the senator, like the senator is like, yeah, no, we got to keep an eye on Cham because the people like him. And if the people like him, then it's going to be hard for us to win the people over. So the senator knows.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're even thinking about like how can they counteract this super popular general.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, like the part in your notes where you were talking about that specific thing, and you were like saying, you know, fascists know it's difficult to take over if the nation feels hope and whatnot, and it he already the senator, he already like had a big part to play. He was one of the people that helped Palpatine rise to power in that first prequel movie in
So is that
Phantom
his character?
Menace. He was it's that same character.
Okay.
He was one of the ones, and now he didn't know, I don't think, the truth behind Palpatine, but he was there scheming and plotting to, you know, get himself as much power as he could.
I thought oh, go ahead.
Nope, you go, Piston.
I just thought it was interesting where, you know, the senator, he kept repeating like over and over, peace and prosperity, and like this idea that they're like 100% linked in his mind, or at least that's the way he's selling it, right? And just like, what is the value of peace over everything? Like, if you, for example, you know, in Star Wars universe, they talk about trade blockades at different times. So if going to, you know, like peace, quote unquote peace, just so that you can get rid of this trade blockade for the sake of prosperity, like where do these things intersect, and like are they always at war with each other, if that makes sense?
I guess I don't know, it's hard for me to fathom this like in the like Star Wars universe because it's like so vast and travel is so interesting to me. But like when I think about just like our small planet, I feel like capitalism is like prosperity meaning what, right? Like I think in the way the senator is talking about it, it's money, right? Like because he's this greed character. But like prosperity doesn't necessarily mean money if there's no money in, right? Like money's not a thing. So what does the prosperity mean, I guess, right? Like having all of your resources, being able to. Sorry, there's a thunderstorm here and my dog is like freaking out. Just like hiding underneath. Um Yeah, so I don't know. I forgot what I was trying to say there. Something about money.
I think.
Well, it's also
like
the
your
idea of
different kinds of
prosperity for
prosperity.
who.
Right.
You know, if the senator had his way, it would be prosperity for him and not for the general and his followers. You know.
Right. But and I think that that's kind of what ends up happening, right? Like in all of these situations in
Yeah.
Star Wars, all of the other people are not prosperous except for like the Empire.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
I like your point about, it's like prosperity doesn't have to all be about money, and it can be just about resources or, I don't know, even like social support and social acceptance, I think would be part of it too.
Yeah, I think it's hard for us to like conceptualize what prosperity means without money because like that is literally how we get anything, like any resources we need, like whether it's shelter or like utilities or food, like the means of commerce is money.
Yeah.
And if like the community like provided most of those things in like a communal way, then money wouldn't be necessary, right? Like I don't know. So like, and then would you define prosperity in those cases? I guess having all of the resources that you need for whatever that means. Resources is a
Yeah,
big word.
it's hard to imagine. I mean, I guess you'd be paying with your time and your attention. I don't know. And then like this idea too that they've been fighting for peace and now they have it, but then how are they getting this peace? Like, how can it be legitimate peace if the empire's just coming around to everyone and saying like, you're under our protection, quote unquote, now, so like deal with it. I don't know if that's really
Yeah.
peace.
Well, yeah, and that makes me think of I think it was in episode 12 where there was there was an exchange between um the one imperial character and I forget his name, the clone, the
Oh,
clone
Hauser?
commander, yeah, Hauser, where, you know, they were talking about rounding up Syndulla and his followers and everything, and Hauser was like, you know, if you do that, if you start rounding people up, you're just gonna have more people oppose you. And he's like, oh well, then we'll round them up too. And like that's not peace, you know. If you're living under threat, like that's a police state. If you're living under threat of being arrested at any time just for objecting to the wrong things that the state is doing, if they're just going to be like, oh okay, well now we're going to arrest you, if you don't have that power to resist peacefully, then you're not, you know, you don't have the peace that they say you do.
Yeah, I didn't think about that before, like, of living under this constant threat. And, like, yeah, that's definitely not peace. I was thinking more in terms of like overt violence or overt control, but even this underlying tension of, hey, don't step out of line, or the threat is there, that's definitely not peace. Unicorn, are you? Go ahead.
I don't know where Unicorn went. I think what you're talking about is coming back to something I was reading yesterday about the 76th. Yesterday was the 76th year anniversary of the Nagasaki atomic bomb dropping. Right, and I was reading an article with a representative, I believe it was a prime minister, calling for the nation of Japan to no longer, and for the Eastern allies in that area, the regional allies, to withdraw from the forced nuclear umbrella that the USA offers, quote unquote, offers the nations that are its allies. So, and I was thinking about this. So, a sovereign nation currently that wants to that is the only victim of nuclear bombing in the history of mankind. In so much like it being used in war, not necessarily that other nations didn't have testing and shit done to them there, but the nation that is the victim of this, the abuse victim in this situation, is can't opt out of that same force being applied to other nations in their name, if it was to come to that. So they're pushing for that currently, and I thought that was extremely interesting. And you know, it made me think of the Ryloth discussion that we're having with the Empire, in that you know, the nation doesn't have Ryloth as a world, doesn't have an option at all into its own self-determination as far as what, from that moment forward, from the moment that the Empire shows up, they can't self-determine anything because their military presence is there. So if they want to make new ally ships, refute the Empire, do anything, they can't, and because they've been completely dissolved. And that's the case of a lot of nations in reality, in our actual world. You know, we have over 700 some odd military bases around the world in sovereign nations, whether they want us there or not. There are active protests in Okinawa to get military and those bases closed and removed because of incidents that happen with Marines and sailors. And these nations, these sovereign nations, can't do shit because of our presence, because of our overwhelming military presence, and our threat of force as the world's only superpower. So I thought that was the correlation between those two things, you know. And if you think, just another tie-in real quick, and I'm gonna drop it here. If you think about the export and the exoticization of Asian cultures that has bled into America, and the sexualization of these cultures along in how the interplay with the patriarchy and white supremacy interplay with that all, it's almost a direct parallel if you think about the images of dragon ladies and Twi'leks and things like that, paired up to. So I just can't unsee that. Unicorn, you're...
I'm back if you, just FYI. I don't know if that messed up your stream, I'm sorry.
Okay, are you turning your cam back on?
Yeah, Yeah, it is on.
Okay.
And I switched to playing on my Switch, so I have to wait about 15 minutes for my Rocket League download. Just FYI.
Okay. Well, it's me
You know
and
what
Smedley.
kind of stream this is gonna be?
Well, it looks like I lost my connection again.
Okay.
So.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Knockout City.
All right. So we'll switch over to some Knockout City. Got into a match, so we'll switch after this one. That makes sense because active gameplay on screen.
Sure.
And that'll give everybody a chance to pull up Knockout City and get ready.
Okay.
And cover the conversation. I will sit here silently and win in the name of Gamers for Peace.
I
You guys
came
do
in
all the
to you
talking.
talking about dragon ladies, so I cut out right after I said my spiel, and then I come back and we're talking about dragon ladies. So I don't know what happened.
I drew parallels to the real world and the forced umbrella of U.S. presence in sovereign nations, like to the Empire, and then the export of those cultures into the white supremacy, into the colonized viewpoint of and all those tie-ins.
I wrote that down a little bit when I was talking about occupation, because I remember Smedley, I think it was last stream, you brought up like what is considered occupation, and they talk about it in this episode, which I thought was interesting.
Do you want to give us a summary of when that happens? I'm blanking right now.
Okay, so let's see. Or maybe it wasn't this episode, maybe it was the episode 12. Tech says, it's when the Bad Batch arrives on the planet. And Tech says, this is a military occupation. And I think it's Tech or Echo, one of them. And then the other one says, Rylos not a separatist planet. And then Tech says again, exactly my point. Like, they're not separatists. They haven't, I guess, so, they weren't understanding why there was such a heavy military presence there. And they're soldiers and clones, and, have, I guess, up until this point, maybe made some justifications for, why, the clones are on certain planets, because it's, they were separatists, or whatever other reason. But then they're on this planet, and they're like, this is very clearly an occupation. It was a little sidebar that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And I thought maybe that's relevant to maybe how some people feel who are in the military currently, or maybe have felt when they were in the military. Why are we here?
There's, I don't know, my experience in Afghanistan, it speaks volumes to just holding territory in the middle of a desert and fucking with the equivalent of a CVS. Yeah, and I mean, meeting locals and doing a lot more, other efforts as a civil affairs operator. But in reality, I was in a neighborhood's backyard, took some backyards from 4 different people at the intersection so that I could set up my own house and patrolled their neighborhoods, whether they wanted me to or not. So that's an occupation. And when you're doing that in neighborhood and not engaging, it's not trench warfare with another military. You're just forcefully policing a sovereign nation's civilian population.
Yeah.
And doing irreparable harm to them, their families, and their communities, their way of life.
So in Sin, did you mention that you haven't seen these episodes?
I have. Okay, so once again, I'm the bad team member that just doesn't do shit. So I haven't seen these episodes once again.
No, it's okay. It's because I was gonna say in this episode, they're building refineries on this planet. Like that's like what they're doing. They're just like building refineries to mine the resources from this planet, and then occupying it and policing it while they do so. At least that's my understanding of what's happening.
Well, and like they were sold on the fact that it wasn't going to be used to produce weapons or anything for military efforts, and then what are they doing in the refineries? Making weapons.
Duh.
Shocker.
And I'm just saying, is it art imitating life or life imitating art? just good question, guys.
Yeah.
Pacifist Warvet has a. Go ahead.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I was say she has a good comment or that just passing out trauma like candy. Like, yeah, how is it to, suddenly these presences are. There's no way to escape the fact that you're now in an occupied country or you're under occupation. If every time you go outside, you see the Empire setting up shop right there and like demanding your chain code.
Yeah, I think there's a clear example of that when the Omega and Raya? Is that her name?
I thought it was Hera. Like
Hera.
Hera.
Yeah, like the goddess.
Hera and Omega, when they meet for the first time, Omega's like, no, like I thought you're in trouble. Isn't that why we're here? And Hera's like, oh, no, I didn't. Like, I don't yet have this understanding that we are completely in an occupied state. Like, I don't think she has a full understanding until that moment.
I wonder if that's partly just from like being the general's kid. I don't know.
Yeah,
like used to seeing the military all the time.
I think that's a brilliant observation. Like, most people don't understand what that you're occupied until you're well past occupied. It's too late to understand. Like, the time Era would have developed that understanding to come into the conversation with that understanding already, she would have had chains, manacles on her wrists, and to Pacifist Warvet's point, imagine how we would react here if they tried to do that. I think the fucked up part is that, like, the way we've been exporting our military to the civilian policing here and the militarization of our police state, we've been witnessing that reaction, and a lot of people don't realize it. Like, because they haven't been come for yet. It's that old thing. First they came for the working man, and things like that. I'm butchering the quote right now because I'm also playing this game, but like I think we are witnessing the reaction that Americans have because of the system by which we live and the expectations that have been set by the state that the state will not care for us. At least the current the current status quo doesn't care about us as people during the pandemic or the world or anything. It's about the bottom dollar and wars racket, so forth. I think we're in the middle of watching that reaction, and a lot of people don't care. There's a population, about 30% population in the country, that's actively encouraging it and wants it to happen, and yeah, I think that's the reality of what it would look like if it happened here.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in those terms.
I just saw Warvet's follow-up comment. Warvet, I would love for you to perform that sometime. Like I would love to see that you perform that poem.
Maybe we can have a
read it.
Gamers for Peace poetry slam.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a special event. Not like an every time thing. Just like a, special event. Not to add more to our programming.
No, I think that'd be cool. Oh, maybe like I hate to suggest this selfishly. I hate to suggest this, but maybe instead of like community game night, we could do like a poetry slam deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
yeah,
could-
community
yeah.
game night is a community night in general. So whatever the community wants to do there, we will support that.
Sounds good. All right. I forgot.
We're
That'd be
switching
cool.
over to Knockout City.
Yeah, I'm already in it.
Unless Sadly's internet connection's better. I don't know.
No, it's about the same at this point.
It's a variety show.
I like that. Okay, so what do I have to do in Knockout City here?
I think, Sin, do you want to make a party?
I will make a party.
I did, I accepted the crew whatever
Nice.
thing. Oh, I don't like my
Gamers for
hair. I'm
Peace
gonna switch my hair.
All right, I had to update
So,
our.
Go ahead.
Oh, switched our
am-
type.
Yeah, I'm doing techie things for just one moment.
Techie.
Oh, okay. So I think like the other heavy kind of theme that comes up in these 3 episodes is they talk about like the purpose of a soldier. Let me find the quote. Yeah,
Oh,
they
from
say
Omega?
something like it. Oh shoot, I can't remember who said
Yeah.
it now. Something about like it's like, isn't that what soldiers do? Stick up for people.
Yeah, that was Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when. Sorry, you go ahead, Smedley. I was talking a lot.
No, sorry. Yeah, that was from episode 12 when Hera sent them a message to ask them to come and save her parents, and Hunter was like, no, we can't do it, like they're too heavily occupied. And then like Pistons was saying, that's when Omega was like, well, but isn't that what you do? You're soldiers, you're supposed to help people.
Yeah, exactly. And then we see Hunter's face, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, that is true."
Yeah, like they were definitely thrown off by her saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. I think in my notes I mentioned it a couple times. Like the play, like the way that they use the children in this show, kind of bring up those those questions and those perspectives. Because there's several times where when Omega meets a new kid like Hera, and they have a little discussion about oh, what do you mean flying is also about a feeling, or what do you mean we're in an occupation, or
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I think I like it.
Yeah, and a few episodes back, they did it with Omega again, where I forget which one it was, but she, which episode it was, but she said, "Oh, but the war is over. Isn't that a good thing?" And then one of the Bad Batch is like, "Well, it depends on what side you're on."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way that they use her as this sneaky little way to question the propaganda.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And children, I like this about children is because it is true, it's a true representation of children don't learn, aren't inherently war oriented or you know what I mean? And so like it's something that is learned or taught or and we can see that like being used as a device here, like their innocence and like their just willingness to just like help people and all of that. It's cool.
So I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna interject real quick and inform you that we are on a brawl crawl. You hear
what is a brawl crawl?
Brawl crawl. We're boarding the KO City bus, tour bus, and every match uses a random game mode.
Oh, okay.
3-on-3. So
okay, we're throwing you into the Sharks Pistons.
Yeah, you are. Oh my goodness.
See what happens.
You'll
All right.
be hung over after this, huh? Getting hit in the head too many times.
Little punch drunk.
I like
Yeah, pacifist war vet. She says they tell us that that's what we do, help people, but then order to do the opposite. And like, yeah.
Hauser says the same exact line in the show. Captain Hauser, the whole time I'm like, is he a good guy? Is he not? Is he a good guy? I can't tell. And then he's another clone who joins like or opposes the Empire. Like I just thought that was
Yeah,
like,
I mean he was conflicted just like Cham was. He wanted it to be a good thing also. But you know, by the end of that episode 12, he could see, you know, he saw Cham and his wife get set up for the assassination of the senator. He could see that it was not what he wanted it to be.
this game requires much more attention than Rocket League.
Yeah, well, I think like because I'm so new to it, I'm like, what are we doing here? Oh goodness.
We're just beating them up. It's a normal match of what we played before.
Oh, okay.
This level via stage changes, like the middle part changes very frequently, so it looks a little confusing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, what's happening? Like, so, I don't know, lately I've been thinking a lot about stuff that I did when I worked in public safety, and like, I went into that field because I wanted to help people, and then like, when I think about what I actually did, like, what was I doing? Like, it was really easy to lose sight of why I thought that was something productive to do. Once I got kind of like lost in just the like black and white, this is the law kind of stuff. And like, yeah, we often talked about the spirit of the law versus the letter of law during enforcement and stuff like that. But at the same time, at certain points, you just, I don't know, you just wrote tickets or made arrests for dumb shit. And like I did a lot of crappy shit to people that didn't need to be done. It did not help anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm wondering what is gonna happen with Captain Hauser because of that, you know. And what's with him? Is his inhibitor chip like? I don't
know.
Get it.
I don't either. I still don't like. I don't understand how some clones are just suddenly like, basically going against their literal manufacturing. I mean, they're manufactured, so I don't. That's a Star Wars question, though. That I don't know if they're ever going to answer that. Like, why some of them suddenly can like make their own decisions about stuff.
I bet Smedley knows.
I don't think they've really addressed it, have they?
Is Smedley still with us?
Smedley?
Uh-oh, did he drop entirely?
No, Smedley, no. Come back.
How come that one team only had 2 people?
It looks like they only got queued with 2. It's a shame.
No, I think somebody quit.
Hmm.
They did have 3. Yeah, it sucks. They're gonna get owned.
Yeah.
And there's no surrender function, and they did forfeit.
Oh,
Oh,
They
they
quit.
forfeit.
Yep.
I would have too. No, I wouldn't have. I never do because these matches are so short. I never quit.
Yeah, and like sometimes you can still win or at least come back. So I never quit either.
The one thing is you can't do. I like Rocket League. You can do like the quick chat, like good match.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as you can't do that in here. Well,
This
it's
one
not.
has like voice chat, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have my chat off.
All right. So we talked about occupation. We talked about what. Oh yeah, we were talking about what it means to be a soldier, or whatever. That's how we got on that rant.
Oops. Oh, I have a new icon.
Let's keep this party going.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever would have thought about the military in general as like helping people. I feel bad saying that. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way.
Don't feel bad saying that. It's like
It
that's
doesn't.
like literally what we're trying to expose here, right? The military-industrial complex doesn't do a lot of helping. A lot more harm. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I mean, is it just like I wasn't socialized that way? Did other people have that feeling about the military?
When you,
Well, no,
I grew up with the understanding that the military, just like the police, were there to help. It was the same exact rhetoric concerning both of them.
I had. Do you want to talk more about that?
No.
Okay. So my family, I have a lot of veterans in my family. Almost all of my uncles were in Vietnam. So, like, there's like a lot of pride in that in my family. But in terms of the police were not necessarily a good thing in my neighborhood and my community and my family. So, I think that's an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm. Pacifist Warvet says she grew up believing they were heroes, and like I think I also had that. I guess I didn't like equate like I don't know like heroes, but not. I wouldn't say like their job would be to help people. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I feel like a hero would probably help people, but I don't know. Weird dichotomy there.
The idea of them being heroes arises out of the fact that the mindset, the culture is that you are liberating foreign places and the people because they don't have democracy. They live under oppressive regimes. There's war going on there. They are refugees. XYZ. Insert displaced national people that suffer the same atrocities that occur in the streets of America on a daily basis. But the machine reinforces this idea that the military, in its duties as war fighters, as warriors, is there as liberators and freedom fighters for the oppressed freedom fighter, right? And there's I think a lot of buy-in in that in a lot of pro-military communities it's rooted in racism. It's rooted in saying that other cultures that are not westernized American, that aren't conforming to the colonized standard of America, can't defend themselves, don't have the agency to take care of themselves, decide their own fate, and it's ignorant of the historical precedent that that is there in that that the reason these countries are in the condition they are in is because of the imperial war machine that is the military. Like, because we do embargoes on Cuba's having the the issues that it's having right now. Because we have armed and messed with various factions in the Middle East for 50, 60 years and have set up our occupation forces at 700 bases in sovereign nations around the world. Because we've done that, like, the idea is that we're heroes and we're there as saviors, and that anybody that isn't already American can't defend themselves and doesn't have their own sovereignty. Sorry, I started trailing off there.
You know what we need? I just thought of this. You know how like you can add like those like cool like sounds onto your stream? We should have like a soapbox sound for when you're soapbox. like soapbox sound.
Oh my
I can
god, that's
sing it
good.
and like make it all like musical and stuff.
It would be like some kind of like inspiring strings or something, or is it like a Baptist kind of church hellfire?
Yeah, I like that.
Someone going, "Amen."
Yeah, because it's a good thing. We like your soapbox.
Well, thank you.
That's good.
But to the
funny.
point,
That's funny.
to one of the points you were making though, Sin, I remember like probably around 05, 06 ish, you know, because the argument was made by the pro war side, by Bush's administration and whatnot, that we're there. You know, one of the many arguments they made in terms of Iraq was, we're there to bring them democracy. But by around 05, 06, I think it was, I remember that there were some racist assholes, shall we say, that were making the argument that, maybe they just aren't civilized enough for democracy. This is never going to work because of the Sunni insurgency and the Mahdi army and everything. It was like, this is never going to work because they don't want it because they're not civilized enough.
Yeah. And like how many times have people like did that freaking disgusting sentiment of, we just should wipe them out, just nuke the whole area and start over. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, how can you even
turn it into a glass parking lot, I believe was the saying or instance that I heard so much. And probably said myself, because for me, I grew up so deeply inside that culture that like that was normalized talk from adults as a child. And like I think that the hero worship or that hero propaganda is a lot more perverse, not perverse.
Pervasive.
A lot more prevalent. Pervasive. Thank you. Prevalent, pervasive is than we want to admit. Like in the early 90s, like mid 90s to early 2000s, to lead up to 9/11 and the reaction to 9/11, Iraq war, invading Afghanistan, invading Iraq.
Dang it! That was me. Sorry.
I think that's a lot. There was a lot of prevalent biases that were established in the generation that would come into adulthood for recruiters to target at the time of that war. At the time of 9/11 itself, and you gotta say that like it's absolutely helped by the amount of just media. We did a talk on GI on Military Ad Slam. We covered the history of GI Joe and the cartoons, right? Like was setting up like references to the Middle East in the early 90s, the late 80s, right? So that racism, that colonial viewpoint was pervasive through conservative communities to varying degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, and I watched the ad slam yesterday, and I saw you guys talking about the, I don't remember if it was there for other episodes of G.I. Joe because it's been so long since I've watched it, but yeah, in that first episode, the Middle Eastern themes, I was thinking about it, and like you guys were talking about, them setting it up, and it's not really that surprising to me when you think about it in context of geopolitical recent history for that time, because when GI Joe came out in the mid 80s, the revolution in Iran was not that long ago. The Iran hostage crisis was even more recent. So Iran was, the big bad at other than Russia. Iran was like the big bad. They were calling us the Great Satan and everything. So yeah, it's perfectly natural from a propaganda point of view that they would start already in the 80s with demonizing people in the Middle East. And then what you were saying, other than that, what you were saying about like the prevalence of the hero image of the military in the 90s, you got to think back to, so in the 90s you had the first Gulf War where we were there to quote unquote rescue the Kuwaitis from big bad Saddam, who was a devil of our making. You had the Clintons taking us into Haiti. I think that was because of Papa Doc and Baby Doc, but that may have been one of the other times that we went into Haiti. I forget.
Oh yeah, he hits for you. Ugh, that's awful.
There was, and then there was Somalia, where we went in to try and sort out the warlord situation. And there was Bosnia, where we went in to try and sort out that situation. So we had all of these little mini wars, or what in some cases they called peacekeeping actions, to be the savior. So yeah, by the time we got to 9/11, for a decade we had ingrained that in our popular culture.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna make a throwback reference real quick. Oh, I just unlocked the sweet ass defeat pose. It is going on everything.
Oh, I like the rose.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had to equip that real quick. Sorry. I'm gonna make a deep cut real quick. One of my all-time favorite movies growing up, and this is it's horrible nowadays, right? Because it's an 80s action flick. Jean-Claude Van Damme, who in my opinion, and I haven't watched all the stuff, is the closest to progressive action star that I know of. It's better than Steven Seagal by a fucking mile. But like, Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, the first villain before you meet Daryl, who is the big bad in that movie. The first villain is the fighter from Saudi Arabia. And the way his presentation in that is already keying up so many tropes that have become common lexicon tropes, like Reed Gold Tooth reference. Plus, they dubbed his voice. Like there's just a lot there that is just characterizing. I can't say that. What is it? Caricature.
Caricaturization.
Yeah.
Caricaturization.
Okay, yeah.
A caricature.
That word.
A caricature.
A caricature of Middle Eastern cultures. Generalized it so much in this toxic and like in the presentation that is tied to how we talk about minority groups or people of the global majority, as I'm referring to POC people at this point. Thank you, TikTok. So like we have movies that are, and Frank Duke's that movie Bloodsport is about a military story. It's based on a true story of an Air Force colonel. If you're not familiar, I think he's a colonel, captain, that participated in bare knuckle martial arts tournament, pre-UFC type thing. And I don't know how much of it's real or fake. But like those references to Middle East culture are in everything, even aside from military geared films, things that are just about international activity has framed these nations and primed you from the mid 80s, like Smelly was saying. But it's not just in direct military propaganda films than other films. There's a bomb. Get under a bridge. Ooh, that was a multi-bolt to the face.
I just realized we were playing a different style.
It's elimination. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You have 1 life per round, and it's first to 3. It goes to last man standing for each team.
Man, how?
And then it's first to 3 round wins, and then it's 3 matches, or best of 3 matches.
Okay, I'm not sure I grasp all that, but like, how do you freaking, if 2 dodgeballs are thrown at you, how the hell are you supposed to? Can you dodge?
Try
Okay.
catch and dodge, or dodge the one.
Oh, dodge. Okay, yeah.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
So I'm out now. Is that right? Okay, that's fine with me.
For a moment, anyway, until we die.
Yeah. Sometimes when I get like exploded in Rocket League, I feel kind of relieved. I'm like, oh, I could take a breather for 1 second.
You're coming back in right now.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I got multi-ball.
Okay.
Coming from behind us. Unicorn above.
I see.
Oh, I caught it.
I just got knocked out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't die.
Uh-oh.
No.
I'm not sure how I got hit there. Oh well.
Oh, they got me. Smedley, how are you doing? It's coming up on time, right?
Yeah.
Any other last points that you wanted to make about these episodes?
And are you going to download Knockout City?
Oh boy. I don't know. I think there's too much going on in Knockout City for me.
What? You can't. Rocket League is like pure chaos, but Knockout City is too much.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try downloading it and see if I can figure it out. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else about these episodes. I was just gonna say, since Sin brought up the unfortunate anniversary of our dropping of the bombs, on Friday, this past Friday, I went there was a local peace group in my area that like my chapter of Veterans for Peace was one of the co-sponsors on this event that we had at a local theater. They had a screening of this old movie from the 60s called The War Game. And it's not very long. It's like 45-ish minutes, but it was a documentary of a sort that was commissioned by the BBC, apparently, from what we're told. It was commissioned by the BBC, and then it was too extreme for them to put it on, because what it was a hypothetical worst case scenario of what if a nuclear bomb, or what if England was subjected to a nuclear attack. And so London gets bombed, and a bunch of other places in the British Isles get bombed, and they show what would happen based on there were a couple of scenes that they based off of not even what happened at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but what happened in Dresden with the firebombing. They showed like what the extreme heat would do, and things like that. But this, like I said, this is from the 60s when they were basing their. I'm not sure why they did this, but they based their science off of 1 megaton bombs, and then they said that, you know, our science for this is based off of 1 megaton bombs, but, you know, everybody has 10 megaton bombs now, so it would be 10 times worse. So yeah, it was really freaky to see, and it won an Academy Award, even though it never really was. It was shown like once, so it was really good, I thought, and you can look it up online and watch it online.
What's it called again? Maybe we can put it in the chat.
The War Game.
Okay. Yeah, I can remember it too. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the stream. We had a special guest on, talking about the Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night's Mental Health Monday, we had a historian come on, and the entire conversation was talking about Nagasaki history, and everything that was going on. It was really
Yeah, I think Smedley watched it, right?
Oh yeah.
I was just saying I hadn't watched it.
Well, I was just plugging it just for anybody in the audience, so they should go check out last night's stream. Yep, that's exactly what I was doing. I promise. Since, do you want to do another round?
Sure.
Are we
Yeah, we can
going
do one more
to
round.
keep playing? Okay.
How about we play one more round, and then can we play a regular round, Chris,
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to make sure that Smedley got said what all he was saying, because I interrupted, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only other thing I would say is to plug another movie that I watched a long time ago. But it's another documentary about the bomb, and it's I think a little more well known. It's called The Atomic Cafe, and it shows some pretty crazy stuff in there too. It shows like in the 50s that our military sent soldiers purposely to walk into radiation to see how long they could survive the radiation. Yeah.
Nope. That's awful.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that our nation has done some fucked up shit around the world.
Yeah.
And it's still doing it. That's what's devastating. is the fact that that happened, and that's the first time I've heard that. Doesn't surprise me, and that's the saddest fact. When you look at the actual history of the United States and the legacy that we have.
Yeah. What I think is sad is, like, to bring it back to like the Bad Batch stuff, is like people watch what's happening in Star Wars and they're like, wow, that's crazy. We would never do anything like what, you know, Darth Vader did. Like,
Right.
but here we
Like,
are,
it's fantasy.
like, making very obvious comparisons between, you know, what our military has done and what the Empire is doing in the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in a cave. Nice. Oh no. Sorry. Okay. Good job. Well, thanks for joining us, Medley, even though we're still having game issues.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me play for a little bit.
I guess, you got to play for a little while, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get our Rocket League team some better tech and have us ready, tournament ready ASAP.
Oh God. Optimistic.
Oh, sorry. Cool. And so next week we're gonna talk about the remaining episodes. So is it open after that one? For sure.
Yes. There's 16
there's-
episodes. Episode 16 is the finale.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Did it come out yet?
No, it comes out on Friday.
Oh, okay. So we'll have some like fresh stuff for Smedley too.
All right.
I think Smedley had watched them all and we hadn't yet.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna make sure I binge watch before the next episode of our Bad Batch coverage.
Nice. This is a good show. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I was wrong, and I am not afraid to say that.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Press and hold the throw button. Oh, never mind. Just throw me. Yeah.
Sometimes I think. I don't even know what happened there. The last round that we played, at one point it was like things were all sparkly, and then I just randomly died. What was that about?
Not sure.
Was it the soda ball?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, did you
I
get
don't know.
bombed? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out.
It's like I got poisoned or something. Oh, so bad at catching.
Okay, we did good. Thanks, Medley.
Yes,
We're gonna finish out this game here, but I know you gotta go.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.
We didn't talk at all about episode 13, really, and I realized that I thought that episode just like didn't fit in, but I guess we'll find out because I didn't watch episode 14. When like the whole thing happens with Sid.
Oh, right. I was like, oh, can you remind me? But like when that wannabe
The
gangster guy. Mhm.
Oh no, the Pikes are
Yeah.
the other guy. The one that wants the spice.
The Durans. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That episode like seemed so different and like out of place.
Yeah, like first 11 was way jarring because like suddenly, basically point of view shift, right? If we're like reading a novel.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like some kind of different, again, a different storyline or a different tone. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the idea was behind that.
Maybe it was
like,
a different writer.
Creatively. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. So like it was like this whole like extra thing with Sid, and so maybe those characters will have bigger parts in the next few episodes. I don't know.
Well, and like I wonder, is obviously Sid is a businesswoman. Oh dang it, they sent me over the edge. Who is definitely like self-interested, motivated in a lot of ways. But I have to wonder if she's also might be like a rebel sympathizer.
Yeah.
Especially sending those weapons and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's starting to kind of feel like the I don't know, like a secret underground like railroad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like crap, they're gonna throw me off the edge. Ugh, I hate that. But like I was thinking that in this episode, and so like I was wondering if maybe like that's where she's going, because I don't think she originally feels like she's there. She's like, I'll take money anywhere I can get it, but now I'm starting to feel like maybe she's changing her mind. Like seeing how this like whole thing impacts her.
Yeah.
Is like really, I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to assume yet.
And you know, like maybe even picking up on how how I'm not sure what the word would be, human supremacist the Empire is, like
xenophobic.
She's not. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah, because she's not human, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So maybe she's picking up on that. What is this vibration? Sometimes I'm like on the roof and there's vibrations. Is that just the vents or something?
Possibly.
They got me. I'm
Close
not.
round.
There's like a lot of things that I don't notice that you mentioned that I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh, well, I guess if you're playing on PC, then nothing vibrates, right? Like my PlayStation controller vibrates.
Oh well, I'm playing with the controller, but maybe the rumble feature doesn't work because. Oh no, I am playing on my Switch. I forgot I had to switch to my Switch because my PC crashed.
Switch to your Switch.
I like to say that.
You switch it up by switching to the Switch?
Oh, I got him in the cage.
Throw him off the edge.
Dang it. Oh, I got so excited and then they picked him up and threw him at me and I died. Damn it.
Do you
I
know
hate when that happens. When you're learning something new and then you get so stoked that you do something stupid.
Yeah.
I do that all the time in any pastime, activity, anything I do.
I did it! Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I did it. Oh, I fell off my bike. Oh, I did it.
Yeah,
oh, I messed up that phrase in the song.
All the time.
Help, help. Help, help,
Sorry.
help. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay. Whew, I didn't die.
What do you think of Knockout City?
I love it. It's hilarious. And like, it's like I mean, it's not exactly like Overwatch, obviously, but it kind of reminds me of it, except less toxic, obviously. At least at this point in time. There's always time for things to get toxic.
Come help me. I know. Well, I like these games because I can very easily avoid any toxicity because there's no like no chat really. Like I don't have to like hear people.
Yeah.
Oh
I turn it off. Yes, I got the one in the cage.
Nice.
Oh no! Dang it! See, do it again.
Sometimes it's hard for me to see if I have a teammate in the cage or not. So I have to double check before I throw him off the edge.
Yeah. Oh my god. I wonder if the game creators anticipated that, or if that was just some heartless innovation on the part of the game players.
What, throw off the edge of the map?
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
For sure. Oh,
There you go. There we are. Ah, dang it, I threw it away. Sorry, whoever passed that to me.
it's hard to see, like, to move your camera around.
Oh,
Got him.
That's it.
Nice.
woo.
That's it.
Good in-game communication, Sin.
Yeah. Trying.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Not that I like
communicated.
pay attention to it most of the time. Sometimes there's too much going on for me to see it. I love my
Damn.
unicorn outfit.
Well, I just want to say thank you for coming for the Rocket League Tuesday and staying for the Dodge Brawl action.
Cool.
Putting that out there. All right, I'm done being
That was a
cheesy.
good way to end on a Gamers for Peace win.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, big event this week, right?
Oh, what? There is?
I thought so. Maybe I'm
Hold on.
like heard a
Hold on,
rumor
I'm
that
trying
wasn't
to think.
true, I guess.
Hold on. What's today's date?
Oh my god.
The 10th of
shit.
August,
Oh shit.
2021.
I 100% forgot about it, but like the biggest event is happening this week, and I think Gamers for Peace is supposed to be part of it, but I'm not sure. It's the VFP annual convention online this year, and oh shit. I don't know if I did what I was supposed to do for that.
Well,
You know what's funny?
do
You're
you have
gonna
some
joke.
time? When does it start?
Oh, let me hold on. It starts on the 12th, so you got 2 days to register. And if last year's been hard for you, you can also apply for the VFP Convention Scholarship Fund. You can check our social media for the link to that. This year's convention is 4 days of amazing conversations, discussions, trainings. Look at that, still catching the ball and returning it. Get out of here. Amazing workshops, trainings, conversations, discussions about the current peace movement, the current veteran movement, anti-war movement. We have music, we have poetry, we have anti-war, everything. Everything. It's all there. Yeah, it's an awesome thing. Glad to be part of it. Gamers for Peace is doing not one, but 2 presentations. One's a training on allyship, talking about the inclusive nature of our community, how we build it, how we find justice, and how to take that into the spaces that you occupy and be a good ally for those that want to see the spaces that we play and partake in the communities that we have be more inclusive. So great training that's being put on by Pacifist War Vet, and I believe a Little Pistons also. Is that true? Can you confirm or deny that? Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
true, and also Plantifa,
And a
Ad
Plantifa.
Slam.
Oh yeah, the host of our amazing
I'm trying
Ad
to
Slam.
climb this, Pistons.
What'd you say?
I'm trying to climb this tower, and you keep.
Oh, sorry. I'll stop.
No, it's okay. It's really funny, actually.
And then we also have the Gamers for Peace discussion on the on recruitment in the digital era, in the digital spaces, which is once again Little Piston, and War Puppy.
Overachiever.
Yeah, Little Pistons over here showing us all up.
I would say don't say it too much. People will be like, I don't want to come and hear all that from Pistons for so long.
Everybody wants to listen to the Pistons.
No.
I'm excited that I actually get to be on that panel with you. And I can't wait to attend the allyship training and then stand on that panel with you and talk about what we've been doing with Gamers for Peace. Yes, Pacifist War Vet, you
And
just,
Yo-Yo.
I was trying to.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bury the lead. I was
Special
burying the
guest.
lead. but we have a special guest in
Last minute
in
appearance
Unicorn.
from Unicorn.
Highly sensitive unicorn, also known as Yo-Yo, is going to be making an appearance and discussing Gamers for Peace as coming out of the counter recruitment, our efforts talking about truth in recruitment and combating the military being in these activity spaces, gaming and activity spaces online. Yeah, you can check those out. You can check out conversations about climate change and military. We have a discussion about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which we talked about a little bit tonight. Just everything that you want to hear about, talk about, and take into your communities to help educate and bring about the end of the forever wars. So really excited to do that, and you can go to.
Ooh, you're good on the return, Pistons.
I'm trying to practice my catching.
Yeah, I'm bad at it too. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, okay, that command's not working. Pacifist Warvet, can you do me a favor and drop a link into the convention real quick? You happen to have one handy? Watching? Thank you.
Ah, damn it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, the soda thing makes me nauseous.
Go to that link, check that out. We're there. Yeah. And that's and because convention is this week, I'm gonna make this announcement and let everybody know that tomorrow night's D&D campaign episode Broken Thrones is gonna be taking a break along with the rest of this week's Gamers for Peace content. Will be in full swing for the convention. A lot of us are putting in volunteering time and putting in some effort to bring these Gamer for Peace efforts to the Veterans for Peace community and to the larger anti-war effort. So Gamers for Peace will be taking a break from streaming game content, but we'll be at convention, so check us out there. We'll still be in Discord. You can check us out there. Hit the link down below. Also in chat. And that's all I got. So I'm gonna stop talking and turn it back over to you, Pistons, because you're coach and I shouldn't be soapboxing. So
no, that's not soapboxing. That's promoting.
I'm promoting. I'm sorry for partaking in the capitalist system and shameless promoting.
Not really capitalism. It's organizing.
Okay, fine. I like your language better.
Oh, you got me. I fell.
Thanks. Oh. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And next week, again, last of Bad Batch for season 1. Hopefully we'll see some of you at the convention. And that's all I got, unless someone else has some last parting words.
Oh, I think that's it. Right, so there's no, just to reiterate, we're not streaming Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because of convention, correct?
That is correct this week.
All right, just wanted to clarify. For myself, not for anybody else, just for me. Throw you off the edge then.
And with that,
there you go. I threw you so far off the edge.
I'm disappointed in that I was thrown off the edge of the building. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. And everybody, peace.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.